Welcome everyone. Today is July the 28th, 2024. I'm outside here first thing in the morning, taking my dog out, and I wanted to do a beautiful video showing how lovely my garden is and neat and organized and everything's done. But that's not going to happen. So it's going to be a while. So I'll just give you an update and then I'll show you the garden. So this is not as simple and easy as I thought it was. So the manure came a month later. So my manure came a month after I ordered it. So I told the farmer I needed the manure. He said not a problem, but it's a different neighbor that has to pick it up. He has a business and he has dump trucks and all that stuff. And he was just busy and he just never picked up the manure for like a month. So by having this come a month late, that means my garden is put in a month late. But I can't do all the work in one day. So it's a month late plus every day after that it takes for me to get stuff done. So my poor plants have been in those seed cells for 3 months. Plus how long it takes for them to get put into the 5-gallon buckets. Some I was able to do that day, some are still in seed cups. So I thought it'd be real simple and easy. Just shovel the manure in the buckets, put the plant in, done. No, it's not. Because for some reason, manure is like half gravel and there's plastic bag. Why? Why is there plastic bags in manure and compost? I don't know. It makes no sense to me. He did tell me there would be some plastic bags in there. I think it's from the hay bales maybe, because there's all these ropes in here too. So, okay, fine. I don't understand why people can't use a garbage can, but so be it. I had no other option. It was this or have nothing. So, every time I shovel, I have to hand pick all the rocks. Let me show you. Oh, look at that. There's a brick. And so, there's rocks. That is a rock. And there's tiny rocks too. So, if you look here, look at all that. So there's gravel mixed in the manure. But so every time I shovel a load of manure, I have to hand pick rocks out of the poo. So it's not fun. But, it's worth it, and I'll show you why. So I've been working very hard, and I know it doesn't look like much, but let me tell you, this is a lot of work, especially when you're working in heat waves. So my whole yard is a work in progress. I have so many different projects going on, and I'm picking and choosing my battles. So battle number 1 is I don't care what has to get done. It's going to wait. I'm not pulling weeds. I'm not doing anything. I am focusing on getting plants into the buckets so that I can salvage my plants, because that's food and I need food to live, and it's healthy. It's not sprayed. I don't like buying from the store because of quality and price. If you've just seen my grocery video, good gracious, it's 6 little tiny peppers for $8, and who knows what they're sprayed with. And if you get the colored ones, they have GMO stickers on them. So, this is really important. So I'm going to show you what is growing and how well it's doing, but I also wanted to make sure that people who are also having issues like this don't feel alone and stay motivated and encouraged. So if you have a garden that is, a work in progress, or it's just not working, it's okay, because there's other people who are in the same issue. And I will say that I'm in grow zone 4. So if you are less than grow zone 4, there is still hope and there's still time. I am still planting some things from seed. So, if things don't work out, just go start from scratch. Plant a seed. Worst case, it doesn't do anything. But at least keep trying. Don't give up. Look at this that I have to work with. See that mess right there? I have to hand pick all of these weeds, and the ones I can't pick, I have to cut them. I started at the end, but I have to clean all this out, and then there's my weed shield. So I know it looks like something rolled in a carpet. No, there's no body in there. That's just my weed shield. So after all of this is cleared by hand, then that weed shield is going to cover this. It is going to look so beautiful and so neat, so organized. It's going to look great. This is going to be all black weed shield. And then my buckets are going to go here and all in rows. So it'll look like a garden. It'll just be an above ground garden. So, but again, my time, my energy, my work has to go into getting things in buckets ASAP. So this has to wait. This is most important. So what I want to do is I'm going to show you the survival seeds plants, which are coming up, and then I'll show you some of these, but I want to get the survival seeds one shown first. So first I will tell you that my Mariana tomato seeds mostly didn't germinate. A few did, but then they died right after. So I just happened to forget that I ordered a package like 2 years ago, but I didn't use it. That's why I don't remember ordering it, because I ordered all kinds of varieties of tomato seeds. So when mine died, I thought, I'm just going to check and just to be curious and see if I have this variety in those seeds that I had got 2 years ago, but I could never use. And because I just don't have the raised beds or anything. Everything, it costs money. It's like everything's so expensive. So I actually found a pack of Mariana tomato seeds. So I planted them, and it's only been like a month, maybe 5 weeks, and these things are amazing. So I started them from seed just in a little container, to see if they'd do anything. And then as they started to grow, what I did was I put them in just these little empty cake containers. I like to save plastic containers that people throw away, because you can put some holes in it and use it for gardening. It's just a better than nothing when you run out of everything else. So temporarily I put them in here just to get them out of the bucket where they were germinating, and look at that. And these grew so fast, and they were just little things, maybe like they're about like this tall when I put them in here a week ago, and this is like 1 week, and that's not, look at that. So these love manure, in case you're trying to figure out what you can do to make your plants better. So the manure is cow and chicken manure mix. It's not horse, it's cow and chicken. So it's done wonders on my Mariana tomatoes. I also have, I'm going to show you on the other side, because I actually have a few more of these, but I planted them on the other side. Now for herbs, I don't remember what herbs were in the collaboration. I'm just planting whatever I can plant. These are Genovese basil. So these poor little things were about 1 inch tall and yellow because they were dying in the little seed cups. And after I planted them, it took like just a few days, maybe like a week, and then they just went like this. They just went crazy. So the manure is making a massive difference. And I just want to give you an example. Yeah, it needs a little more water. I water these things all the time, but look how huge that tomato is. And that was just a little nothing dying stick that had no extra branches or anything on it like a week and a half ago, and it looks like that now. So the manure is amazing. It is doing great. Highly recommend manure. You just have to make sure that the hay the horses or the animals are eating is not sprayed with Grazon or Roundup, that kind of stuff. So you just want to make sure you have fairly clean manure and know that there's no chemicals and stuff. Now, I don't have anything organized because my main goal was just get stuff in the pots and not worry about it, and then later I can organize it. But this one here is a pepperoncini. So, and again, this was just, let me see there? I'll actually show you what it looked like a week and a half ago. It looked like this. but it was like this, actually, like that. And it was yellow and dying. And after a week and a half in manure, it looks like this. That is a beautiful dark green. I think the one behind it is also the pepperoncini pepper. I have to pull out some more weeds. This is why I put rocks. After I put my plant in, I cover the top in rocks, and that helps to keep the sun from drying out your soil. It is amazing at that. It also adds minerals. Rocks are loaded with minerals, so when you're watering your plants, you're getting minerals in your plants. So it has a lot of good benefits to it. But most importantly, it keeps weeds from growing. But it was a lot of work, and I get headaches if I'm outside a lot, like in the heat waves, and I'm bending down. I can work, but it's the bending down. For some reason, I get headaches. So I only got rocks in some things. This one here, I think it's either the pumpkin or the watermelon, but I like to put those rocks in there because look do you see weeds? Nope. So it makes life so much easier. So I still have to put rocks around all of these, but I wanted to focus my time and energy on at least getting them in the buckets. And then I can always do that later. So let me go over here. For the herbs, I also have, this one is mint. Now, I planted mint like months ago, and then I gave up on it because it wasn't doing anything, and it looked like it was all dried out. It just didn't do anything, and I gave up on it. And then, like, maybe 2.5, 3 weeks ago, I'm talking months ago, I gave up on it. And then a few weeks ago, I went in the back, and I saw this, and I'm like, oh, it's probably a weed. But I scanned it with my app, and it said mint. So I have mint. So I moved one into this here. Now what's next to it is actually a piece of my cherry tree right here. That's my Juliet cherry tree. I bought it at Walmart last year. It was one green stick. It didn't even have bark. It was just one little green cutting stick. And this is what it looks like after 1 year. It's just amazing. That's my favorite plant. But there was a piece that I pulled out. I thought it was a weed, and it had a root. And I think it's cherry. So I put it in here with rooting powder. I'm going to see if it's going to keep growing. But that's my mint. That's mint. And I think that one is also the mint. Yeah, so I have 3 mints down there. I don't remember which is which because I did try to grow spearmint and peppermint. Now this app said that was spearmint, and I hope it is because I have peppermint growing, so I can have both kinds. And then I believe this one here is also mint. I believe I put one in a 5-gallon bucket. I don't want to use up my 5-gallon buckets for things like herbs and that. I wanted to focus on my peppers and my tomatoes, and then later on I can then put my herbs in the buckets. But for now, I'm trying to focus on utilizing them for the most important things. But I did want to make sure I at least gave a couple buckets to, some of those things, because they are amazing at getting rid of bugs. Mosquitoes, there's a lot of things they don't like, and other bugs. So I did put a couple in there. Now, I believe, I have to double check, but I think this is also one of the Mariana tomatoes, and that one there. They don't look anything like the other ones, even though they were all grown at the same time. Yeah, it is, because I didn't put the labels. That means that's the Mariana. So these are massively smaller. I'm not sure why, because they all germinated at the same time. They were all in the same container. I just took them out and put them in different containers. But for some reason, those tiny, tiny little cake lid containers that I put those Mariana tomatoes in, for some reason, those ones are just going crazy. But these ones are taking longer. But it's okay, because I'm thinking maybe these ones are focusing more on building their roots, and it is a bigger pot. So they could be focusing more on root structure, and those ones could be focusing more on growth. That could be why. Now, I also gave up on catmint, and I found these. So I'm going to pull these apart and I'm going to plant them in small containers. I did give them a trim though, but I can save these. These are this is catnip. So I'm going to save I can save the catnip. And then I had these planters to go. I bought these on Amazon. It was cheaper than Walmart. See how pretty that is? The fence is not done. I still have to paint the wood white. And then after I paint the wood white, then I can attach the lattice with screws. It's just being held on with zip ties right now. But those go there. I wanted to focus on mosquito repellents as well, but I put a basil in there and a fennel. And then this one here has lemon balm. Oh, there's a bee flying around. And fennel. Fennel, apparently my friend in Michigan told me that she puts it next to her outside door and it keeps the bugs away. They don't like fennel. So I planted a whole pack of fennel. And so now I just have to replant it all. So that is some more herbs. And then I did use 2 of my buckets for lemon balm. I have a bunch of lemon balm. I mostly planted it in those planters up there. So I did keep 2 out for a 5-gallon bucket, and look at them. You see that one right there? So the lemon balm that got put in the 5-gallon bucket, look at that. And they were all grown at the same time. They were all the same size. So you can see the difference between this one and then the one in the 5-gallon bucket. I don't know. It is what it is. But some things are just growing massively and some things are taking their time. And that's okay. As long as they're still alive, I'm happy. Now I will show you where I planted oregano seeds. And then once they germinate, then I can always just put them in different containers while I'm working on this. Once all my stuff is planted, then I'll work on putting all the herbs and stuff in 5-gallon buckets too. But in the meantime, I just need to get them planted in something and quick and easy. So I have all of these that I am reusing. These containers here from last year. These are all oregano. Well, get rid of this. All these weeds here are lamb's quarter. It's just growing prolifically all over the place. So there is some oregano. It's doing amazing. I'm trying, okay, don't worry about this. So I'm actually trying to create a cheap and easy privacy fence because I have nosy neighbors that are creepy. And so my plan was I just made a quick thing here for my sunflowers. I think they're supposed to grow like 15 feet. And they bush out, so it's good privacy and, for nosy people. So my plan is to actually go all the way out there. It's just a lot of work and time that I'm trying to focus on my garden. So I started it. I still have to fill it in with soil because I just put enough so I could get the plants in, because these poor things are hanging on for dear life because they've been in little tiny cups for months. So I just wanted to get them out, but I still have to fill this in. But it's good enough, it's a start. So now I'm going to come over here and show you. This here is the basils. So the basil, I have some is holy basil and some is Genovese basil. Now, I showed you the ones over with the tomatoes. Those were all planted at the same time. All my basils were planted at the same time. And I also showed you that little one in the white planter. They're all germinated at the same time. But these ones are really taking off. These are just massive compared to what they were a week ago. So these are just having the time of their life. They're doing great. This is lemon catnip. This, I didn't even plant this year. I thought it was a strawberry bucket, and I thought from last year, I'm like, it looks strawberry. It looks a little, these leaves look a little weird. So I scanned it, and it was lemon catnip that never came up last year. Oh, it's going to seed. Yeah, we don't want seed. No, I don't want seed right now. Let's pick that off. Let's give that a trim. That a trim. That a trim. No seeds. No. Not allowed to. Oh my gosh. So if you don't know, catnip smells like skunk. And wow, that's a fragrance. Whew. So anyways, this here is another basil. And the basils are just really thriving. I have over here, I actually still have, I have a couple more poor little basil plants that didn't get planted. So I do have a few more. And then over here is where I planted my peppermint, and I'm starting to get some coming up, which is really nice to see. It's my favorite. The only tea I drink is peppermint, and so I absolutely love it. And I'm going to take these out and repot them. I just have to find new pots. Now, this is all the oregano. So all the oregano that you saw over in those little cups was from here. I didn't think I was gonna get all this. So I've been slowly taking them out and replanting them as I find stuff to put them in. So I just did these the other day. I found these little Easter baskets I got on clearance at Walmart last year. So these have some of that oregano. And then this one here is a mint. So I took one of my mints out of here and I put it in here. And then this one here is sweet yellow banana peppers. So these have to get 5-gallon buckets soon. Put that there for some sun. These died. So, you know, for people who get discouraged, yeah, it happens. I mean, all my plants were in these seed cups for 3 months. You know, they're not meant to be there for 3 months. So a lot of them died. They couldn't wait to get planted in the 5-gallon buckets. So these just have to go to the compost, and you know, it's fine. It happens. And then I can't remember which is which here, but one is cayenne pepper and the other one is jalapeno pepper. I don't like heat, but I do like flavor. And I only wanted cayenne pepper to make my own cayenne pepper seasoning to make capsules because I can't stand hot stuff. But I wanted to make some capsules of cayenne pepper. So I had cayenne pepper growing. And yeah, and then the other one's jalapeno. I don't know which is which. Forgot to label it. And then, let me just check and see. Okay, so, oh yes, right there is another basil. See that poor little thing? I don't know why it looks like that. It's not as, you know, beautiful as the other ones, but it's still alive. So, and then here is another one of those planters. I had to take them off there because it was pulling on the fence that I made. It's not finished. I still have to put, so this here, I have to build one that comes along the ramp. I don't do stairs. I don't see the point in stairs. If you build a ramp, you can easily run a dolly up and down it, and you can walk, you can shovel easily. I don't like stairs. They're just pointless to me. So I have to put that fencing across here too. So until I have that here, there's nothing holding this corner to brace it. So it was kind of leaning this way. So I just temporarily put them on these chairs for now. And we have fennel and basil in both of them. But look at that basil it's slow. So it's funny to see how the different containers affect your plants, because all my basils were grown at the same time. And it's just, you know, some of them are just doing massively better than others. But, you know, like I said, sometimes a plant could be focusing more on building their roots, and that's why it looks short, but it's building a good root structure. And others might be focusing more on building the plant and not the root structure. So, you know, I don't try to judge and compare my poor plants, you know. As long as they're alive, I'm happy because there's hope. And then, oh yeah, I forgot my drill outside. But there's another one there. So this here is what I'm still working on. As you can see, you know, I bought these at the store. I didn't know if my peppers were going to make it, and I didn't want to take a chance. And I got these on clearance 2 months ago. These poor things have been here a very long time. So mostly everything I germinated from seed, and it's heirloom seeds. But some things, you know, just the peppers. I had 5 of those that I bought, and I planted a bunch of them, but I still have a whole lot to plant. So those, oh my gosh, look at this. It's a bee. Live on film, we are watching a bee at work. Look at the beauty. And this is why I didn't compost a lot of my stuff, because they're flowering and I have a lot of pollinators here. So I figure it's not hurting anything. I'll just leave it because I see them enjoying them. So we have a bee live at work. Oh my gosh. He wants to get closer. So anyways, this here is what I'm trying to salvage. It's just a lot of work. I'm one person. So, okay, compost for this one. But here, look at my rhubarbs. They're still holding on. They're okay. I can salvage the rhubarbs over there. And then there's one here. I have a cabbage, red rock mammoth cabbage. My sea buckthorn berries right here. This is berry bushes, sea buckthorn. I grew them from seed and they need to get replanted immediately. It's just, peppers are more important right now. And then I also have another one right there. It's doing well. These are my sunflowers. They are desperately needing to get planted. So, I was able to get a few over there, but I need to build, I want to go all the way out. So that is another thing on my list to do. I do want to show you, so, I'm still starting from seed. It happens. So since I have to compost a lot of my stuff, over here is my little workstation. So this is where I'm growing from seed. And as you can see, it's working. So I have, for the survival seeds, we have the Waltham butternut squash. I just planted these during the week, so it hasn't even been a week yet, I don't think. And I've already got a germination there. And then I have oh my gosh, there's that bee again. So I have a pickling cucumber there that's sprouting, and the rest are still growing. But I do have one Waltham butternut squash. Again, mine died. So I'm starting from scratch, and it's worth a try. Okay, maybe it is too late in the season. Oh well, too bad. Since I'm still gonna try. So the pepperoncini peppers, the Waltham butternut squash I showed you. Oh, let me show you my beets. So don't be discouraged if your beets didn't do well. Mine couldn't wait. So they tried, and they're still looking, they tried. And they held on for a very long time, but I have to start them over. So it's not good. The Walla Walla onions, they died waiting to get transplanted. So I'm going to start them over again. And then that leaves us, hopefully I'm not forgetting anything, leaves us the beans. So I did not get the same beans as everyone else because shipping them to Canada in a letter envelope, because you don't have to deal with customs, So by shipping them in an envelope, it makes it very puffy and they'll most likely get crushed or broken. And so I found some red Aztec kidney beans that I had in my seeds, and so I just used those. I've never grew beans before ever. This is my first time growing beans. So this here, you can see these two. I know you should only put one per pot, but I'm working on a time crunch here. So they're going to share for now. And they are doing amazing. So if you watched my short I was germinating these seeds long months ago. And I forgot them outside for a long time. And then we had a heat wave, and the heat wave was so hot, it actually vacuum sealed the Ziploc bag with the damp paper towel that I was germinating them in. So they were completely vacuum sealed, and I was going to throw them out, but I opened them and they looked great. So I planted them and they're doing well. They are loving the manure. So they've been, okay, so the manure came, actually, I can't believe it would be 3 weeks tomorrow. That's just, it only seems like it's been a week, but it's been a lot of work. So they've been planted maybe a week. All of these are the new ones. So about a week or so they've been planted, and they've like tripled in size. So all of these are the ones I planted in the last 2 to 3 days. And you can see they look pretty pitiful, and they're yellow and cruddy, but they are starting to turn green. So if you have plants like this, keep in mind that they can change. So all those dark green, beautiful peppers over there that are thriving, they looked like this when I planted them. They were like, most of the leaves fell off. You can see all those little spots on the side. That's where all the leaves fell off because they were dying. And it's not because they don't have water, it's because they're root bound and they need to get out of those seed cells. So these were dying, they're dark yellow. It's been a couple days now and they're starting to get a nice green on them. So, you know, just something as simple as manure makes a huge difference. So don't be discouraged if you have plants that look like this, because you know, it really doesn't take much and there is still hope. So, you know, see this tiny little tomato plant here? That is what this looked like 2 weeks ago. And I actually have, I want to show you because I'm so happy, I'm so proud. So over here, and I have another plant with some on it too, but over here, look at this. I actually have cherry tomatoes growing. So that is the only thing that is producing fruit right now, is a little bit of tomato. And over here we go. This one right here. There's one right in there. So the only thing that is producing is a few little cherry tomatoes, and it's better than nothing. I'm happy for it. But again, it's kind of been a disaster, but I'm trying to salvage it, and I think there's time. So once all of this gets moved over here and it's all neat and organized, I think it's going to be beautiful. And then I still have to get all that cleaned up. You see that big, looks like a tree? That is lamb's quarter. That stuff is growing prolifically everywhere. It's out of control. So I have to pull all that out. And then my cabbage, my potatoes, my onions and carrots, all that's going there. So what my thoughts are is that I can easily slide a 5-gallon bucket on my dolly just before the first frost, and I can wheel it into my greenhouse. So I'm thinking, even though everything's a month late, it might be okay because I can move it to the greenhouse, everything that's still producing, and hopefully I'll be able to get an extra month, and that'll make up for the month that it's late. So I think there's still hope, and you know, I have to do the best I can because this is like my life. If I don't have good healthy food, then I have to buy it, and I'm getting crap because the quality is terrible. Tomatoes, cucumbers, everything at the store, it's not good quality. It's usually grown with fertilizers and chemicals and sprayed with stuff. The nutrition it lacks, the flavor it lacks, and it's the last resort pretty much. But you know, I'm stuck. I have to buy from the store or I don't eat. So you know, I'm dependent on this. This is extremely important. And so I'm at a huge disadvantage because that manure came a month late. And then that also means I'm working in heat waves instead of beautiful, cool weather. So, you know, I know it's nice to see those beautiful gardens and people having all those nice harvests and stuff. But, you know, there's also a lot of people who have to deal with stuff like this. You know, they can't do what they want when they want, and you end up with a messed up garden. So for everybody who has a messed up garden, it's okay. You know, at least you do your best, and you can still try, still grow from seed. I'm still growing from seed. You know, it's worth a try. Even if I only get maybe a couple zucchinis or a couple cucumbers out of a plant, it's better than nothing. So keep trying. If you have failures, just start from seed right away. And just keep praying over your stuff, because good gracious, I pray over these all the time. And I will do a video once it's all organized and neat and show you everything where it's all together and what varieties they are. Right now I'm just trying to get them in the buckets and out of those seed cups. trying to think what else. I don't think I'm missing anything, but I want to show you this here. Oh my goodness. I did not plant this, but I have so much growing in the gravel. So I tore up all the gravel around my house, or all the grass, and I had gravel laid. It was my way of reducing bugs, mosquitoes, and all kinds of stuff. And I thought it'd be maintenance free, which is another huge important thing. Well, I didn't know everything grows through gravel. So I have stuff growing like crazy, and it's mostly edibles. I have loaded with lamb's quarter growing all over the place and all kinds of stuff. This here, you know, I was going to pull it and I thought, I'm going to scan it first. It is red amaranth. Never planted it. It's just growing. Look at this. It's like a tree. And it looks like it might be going to flower. But this thing is got to be at least 4 feet, well, but around 4 feet tall. And it's just growing in my yard. So, yeah, so there's this. There's so much traffic here. It's very loud. But I wanted to show you this here too. And look how green and luscious it is. So I do see a lot of people that go out of their way making sure they have all these amendments and they're testing their soil. They're doing all this stuff and then they complain because their plants aren't growing very well. But, you know, look at this. This is gravel. I never planted it. I don't water it. It's just grew. And this is the most amazing green. And it's absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful. And I did nothing. This is the most neglected plant there is. And look at it. Take a look at this compared to everything in my buckets. So, you know, if you see people buying all this stuff and doing this, and you get discouraged thinking, well, I can't afford to buy all this bone meal and buy all this fish emulsion and buy this and that. So, and you get discouraged thinking, well, you know, my garden's not going to do anything and all that stuff. Just keep in mind that often the most neglected plants are the ones that thrive. So just do the best you can with what you have and see what happens. It's worth a try. I will say the peonies I bought myself for my birthday, which was my only birthday present, they thrived. They did so amazing in the house, and they were just beautiful dark green. They were loaded with leaves. I brought them outside. It was 65 degrees out. 65, that's not even hot. And the leaves started to curl. They were getting sunburnt. So they're outdoor plants. Peonies are supposed to be for outside. I don't know what's going on with these, but they had a tantrum. So I put them in the greenhouse out of the sun, but they still got light and water, and they never recovered. This was back in March, and they still look like, I don't know, not anything nice. So I'm going to actually cut them down and see if it'll regrow. But, you know, if you have issues with peonies and you found a solution, let me know, because these were my favorite things. I wanted them for so many years and they're just dying. So, you know, that's my garden. I will do a proper tour later, but I wanted to just show you my survival seeds, how they were doing. And them tomatoes, like I'm telling you, 5-gallon bucket. And my Mariana tomatoes look like that. But then if you go over to an empty plastic container lid, and they were all planted at the same time and same size, and look at this. So don't be, you know, discouraged. Oh, I don't have room to plant. I don't have a garden. I don't have a yard. Do you have a container lid? Look at that. It's amazing. I'm like, what? How does that happen? I'm not complaining. So, and also too, so I don't know the facts, but apparently, okay, all these people pulling suckers off, you're only supposed to do that with indeterminate plants. You're not supposed to pull them off determinate plants. I don't pull them off unless I need to air, like if there's good air, if it needs airflow, then I'll pull stuff off. But, you know, I'm not going to pull the ones off the bottom of this because there's so much airflow. It needs its leaves. It's only good to pull it off if it's getting too crowded. But I do want to show you something. So let's say you have a good plant, it's thriving, and you don't have time to start from seed to grow another plant. So what you could do is you can come over here and let's say you could take something off. So let's go over here. You could pull this one off here, this whole like branch. You could take this off and you can plant that in soil. And this will start to grow roots and it will grow a whole entire plant. So, you know, if you have some failures or maybe you want more plants than what you have, but you think it's too late to grow from seed, then what you could do is just take a branch off and plant it in soil and it will grow. So, you know, that's something that you can do if that's gonna help you. So don't give up if you have a little garden that's having a hard time. There are things that you can do. And like I said, look at this. They're in little containers and these things are doing better than the Mariana tomatoes in my 5-gallon bucket. All grown at the same time and in the same container. So hopefully that gives you some ideas and some motivation to not give up on your little gardens. So that's all I have for this video. I'm hoping to very soon